Greetings everyone, it is I, Josh, here to bring you a brand new video, and today I'm going to be talking about, and while this does not offend me, and don't get me wrong, it doesn't offend me at all, it takes a whole lot to offend me, but all I know is there's some jokes you don't really make light of, you don't try to make it seem funny, and one of them is starvation. People around the world are dying from starvation due to the fact that their own government, their own tyrannical evil dictatorship decides to starve them. It's sickening that people would do that to another human being. And I'm looking at the statistics of how long it would take to starve to death. I know it takes 3 or 4 days to die of thirst if you don't find water. It takes 30 to 40 days. Even if they're properly hydrated. Severe symptoms of starvation began around 35 to 40 days, and as highlighted by the hunger strikers of the Maze prison in Belfast in the 1980s, death can occur at around 45 to 61 days. Now, I again say there's certain jokes you don't really try to make fun of. I had a friend who was this beautiful woman. She misinterpreted the word pretty hot and tempting with the word fat, F-A-T. And while they sound the same, she decided that she shouldn't eat anymore because she didn't like the way she looked. And she battled anorexia for 20 years, and then she finally died from it. So it's something you don't joke about. There are people who are dying all over the world. And there's nothing you or I or anyone else can do. And yet we live in the greatest country in the world, even though a lot of people say, well, we don't live in the greatest country in the world. Yes, we do. Consider the fact that we are free. The fact that our economy is growing. The fact that we're not worried about money right now. Even though that bubble could burst and then we're all screwed. And I'm just saying this, I'm not offended by it, but I wish people wouldn't make jokes like that, even on social media. It does bother me, because I know there are people who are legit starving to death, and there's nothing I can do about it. I remember helping send care packages to other nations and other countries that needed it more than I did. And unfortunately, I'm not even sure if they got what they got, because their government would confiscate it. It's just like my buddies who were in Iraq. Little kids were standing in the streets waving the American flag, begging for food. My buddies pulled over, hand them candy bars, and even food supplies. It's all because of their leadership at the time. Even though Saddam Hussein was found and was executed for all the crimes he has committed against humanity, he still starved his own people, and that's not right. Why would you starve your own people? Oh, I gotta feed my military, but let's not feed the people, right? Let's not give them anything to eat. And you gotta understand that there's certain jokes I would never even touch upon or even joke about, because I myself almost died of starvation. I unfortunately contracted single-cell organisms, parasitic creatures, who were killing me. I was sick for 3 years. I looked like a skeletor. I looked like a skeleton. And the doctors were baffled by why every time I ate something, it came out the other end. Like, real quick, like. Until one day they got a live sample and they realized what it was. And when you have Giardia disinfection, because I was probably, I crawled around and I probably put something in my mouth I shouldn't have. Because when you're a baby, you don't know any better when you're crawling around. You just put things in your mouth. You have no concept of what that is. You just think it's something you can eat. I mean, that's why I'm short, too. I mean, I'm very short, and everyone makes jokes about me drinking coffee, And that's the reason why I'm trying. No, that's my DNA. Like I said, I'm not offended by anything because it takes a whole lot for me to be offended. I just wish people wouldn't make jokes like that. Like, seriously, it's not something to kid around with because there are, like I said, there's people dying in other nations. People are dying. Every month, someone's dying. And even if they could eat food, their stomachs would mostly implode or explode because they can't handle the food. Just like when somebody's really thirsty, you can literally drown yourself because you're so thirsty. People have drowned themselves from drinking water. And even though they can find water and be hydrated, I'm sure that water's nasty. I mean, I would hate to live in a third world country. And while some people got offended by Trump saying they're S-holes, well, there are. That's the fact. These liberal media types and liberal-minded people have no clue or idea where these people have to suffer. And yet, yeah, I wish we could help them out by sending them food and supply. I wish we could show our military presence and say, no, you can't do that anymore. What happened to the Geneva Code? Oh, I guess that doesn't matter because it's happening in other countries. None of our business. And the UN does nothing about it. Oh, we'll just keep using diplomacy on it. Yeah, that really works from a country that hates us. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? Yeah, diplomacy. There are countries that wish they could be like us. Just like the UK is free, Germany is free. They have a democracy, which is a good thing. If they ever went back to a dictatorship, I don't know what we do. There's nothing we could do about that either. So yeah, I really wish people would think before they speak. Like there was a few days where I didn't eat nothing because I just felt crappy. I didn't want to eat nothing. I felt like I was getting viewed as some overweight guy. You know, because I do have a gut. You know, that's the thing about body images. Like, people think that if you don't look like a certain type, or, oh, you're disgusting. You disgust me because you don't look right. I tell them to screw off. People say body shaming isn't real. It is, in fact, real. Happens to everybody. Just don't let them get to you. Alright, I gotta go, guys. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next video. And, you know, I'm not offended by nothing. It takes a lot to offend.